Hi guys, today I want to talk about APPICS. APPICS is an application. It's a social media app, and according to APPICS, they say that they reward passion. Now, so what do they mean by rewarding passion? I think to understand what they mean, we'll need to look at how we are spending time on platforms such as Facebook, which is where I'm doing my live streaming right now. Facebook is taking credit for this very live stream because they know that people want to watch live streams. So they know that there is attention. The whole point of social media and the whole point the people who design social media platforms design them is because they understand the return on investment of attention. So attention just means, for example, that you're watching this video. That's what attention means. It means that there is something about this video that you might find to be useful. There is something that you might find to be of benefit. There is something that you might find to be of value. So you decide to watch it. And you decide to watch it probably ahead of other things that you could be watching. So your attention, so all you have is your attention, all you have is your time. All you have is, and you make a decision as to where you're going to invest your attention or invest your time. And normally we are looking for either entertainment or education, or if we can get both at the same time, that's an even better proposition. So there are people that will educate and entertain you at the same time. There are people who strictly entertain you, like comedians, and there are people who will strictly just educate, like professors. Okay, so if you want to strike a balance between entertainment and education, then I think you can attract even more people. But we're talking about APPICS, and APPICS is not yet being released, but I've seen screenshots of what the app is going to look like. They haven't released it yet, but it's going to look almost like a Facebook. And the only difference is that it's going to be decentralized and it's going to be distributed. So what does it mean that it's going to be decentralized? It means that it's going to be on a blockchain. And what does that mean? It means that they are not going to have a central location where your information or your posts or your comments or your likes are going to be housed. It's going to be on a decentralized network of computers, so that if one computer stops working or one computer is out, then the network does not go down. Okay, so it's going to be a decentralized and distributed social application. That's what it's going to be. Welcome, Dazichuapo. I'm just talking about APPICS. APPICS, you can look at it like a Facebook. So it's not yet out, but I've read the white paper. Last weekend, I actually went through the white paper. And they've also released they've already got the app running. Okay, and I've seen screenshots of the app, what the app looks like. And I can understand the business model behind the application. Because I've used some applications which are like APPICS, but it promises to be better than some of these applications, but we will see. So for example, I've used an application called Steemit, STEEMIT. That's Steemit. That's an application. In fact, it's a blogging platform. This one, it's a blogging platform, but what it does is that it is based on an incentive. So it incentivizes the people who are blogging or posting or liking by giving them a reward in the form of a cryptocurrency. Okay, I know some of these terms are not going to sound very familiar. I'm aware of that. But I think that we just need to start talking about these applications which are coming up on the blockchain. A lot of us have heard about Bitcoin. A lot of us suspect that Bitcoin is some kind of money. Some people still ask me if it's physical. And I keep telling them that actually it is not physical. It's only in digital form. And it is decentralized. And let's see. I enjoy your platforms. Quite informative. Thanks, Dazi. I try to be as detailed, but also I try not to be too technical with some of these things. For example, Bitcoin and blockchain, still very new to most people. And like I said, Bitcoin for some people is just some kind of money. So they suspect it's a new kind of money, which it is, but it's in digital form, so there is no physical counterpart to this Bitcoin. But Bitcoin, what it's then come up with is that Bitcoin is actually, and that's Bitcoin, let me say Bitcoin with a capital letter B. So Bitcoin with a capital letter B is the technology behind Bitcoin with a small letter b, which is the cryptocurrency, or which is the currency. So the currency Bitcoin with a small letter b is the incentive system for maintaining the Bitcoin technology. So the Bitcoin technology is what is decentralized. So so it's what comes up with the what decentralization is all about. Okay, so APPICS is an app, and it is reward based, which means that it's an app which is rewarding the people who are taking part. Imagine if Facebook was paying me for this live stream, and imagine if Facebook was paying you, Dazi Chiwapu, for having made that comment. So that comment, according to APPICS, if you're on the APPICS platform, you would have been paid for that comment. You'd have been paid for a like. Okay, Londolozi, welcome back. This time I'm talking about the blockchain, and in particular I'm talking about APPICS, which is an app which is coming up very soon. You can follow them on Twitter, APPICS official on Twitter, just to find out what they're doing. You can also follow them. They've got a Telegram channel. The Telegram, which is like the WhatsApp. So on Telegram, they've got a group, and they've got regular updates there. And I think as we speak, they're actually in initial coin offering, they are selling some shares, I think, or something like that. Okay, but anyway, they are reward based, whereas if Facebook is not reward based, Facebook is actually using us, the people who contribute. Because if everyone leaves Facebook today, okay, every investor who has invested in Facebook will just walk away, okay, because they'll lose almost everything if everybody was to leave Facebook, which is why the hashtag delete Facebook, I think the hashtag delete Facebook is actually not very good. It's not very good. The hashtag leave Facebook is not very good, and we've seen Facebook. Is it leave Facebook or delete? It's hashtag delete Facebook. Hashtag delete Facebook has actually hurt Facebook. They've lost billions of US dollars. They've also the investors have also lost, because when Facebook loses by billions of dollars, it means that actually it's the investors who are losing that money. It also means that the share price is coming down. Okay, so APPICS is different because it's reward based, and it will reward people. Somebody just liked there. I don't know whether it was Ru, but if anyone likes this video like now, okay, if it was on APPICS, there would be a reward not only for me but also for the person who has liked, okay, and it's on a blockchain. I know blockchain is a little bit, but blockchain just means that whatever you post on the platform on APPICS, APPICS cannot delete it, okay, unless their policy will obviously they will try to take care of the very extreme. Some things will be quite extreme. Maybe those could be censored, but most of the things that are posted there would not be censored because it's on a blockchain, and the blockchain will ensure that it is difficult for them, and or for anyone for that matter, even for hackers, to go into APPICS and change anything which has been posted or delete likes, for example. You are able to edit your posts, but there will be a record of those edits on the blockchain. Okay, so they are using this Steemit, which means they are rewarding people using the Steem blockchain. And the Steem blockchain is associated with a cryptocurrency, and that cryptocurrency can then be changed into other cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. And then that Bitcoin can be converted back into money. Okay, so that's what APPICS can do in terms of the rewards, right? I've underlined a few things here on the Steem blockchain. I mean on the APPICS white paper. So we believe, they say, we believe in our mission to give people back their return on investment for the time that they spend on social media. So we spend time on social media. A friend of mine has just spent over 2 hours doing live stream from his house in London. He's just spent over 2 hours, okay? 2 hours is good for Facebook because it shows how valuable they are to the person who's doing the live stream. So Facebook is actually, the people who benefit are the investors, because if people are spending so much time on Facebook doing a live stream, okay, it means that it's good for Facebook and it's good for the Facebook investors, okay. So the return on investment for spending time on social media is something which Facebook is not giving to the people who are creating the content, but it's giving to the investors who are investing more money into Facebook because of the time that people are spending on Facebook. But what APPICS will do is that it will reward people. It will give them a return on their investment, a return on the investment on time which they are spending on the APPICS platform. And they will use a cryptocurrency called ZAP or XAP for ZAP. Okay, so that is the APPICS coin. So it's like Bitcoin. So instead of Bitcoin, they have APPICS coin, and the APPICS coin is called the ZAP or the XAP. Okay, so I think what APPICS is trying to do also is that they are trying to be a visual and social. They are trying to be visual social because that's what we are as human beings. We are social and we are visual, so they'll try to make pictures and video a big part. So instead of having so it's just like Facebook, where you can post videos like this one, or you can post pictures. So on APPICS you'll be able to do that. So the human mind is a story processing machine, which means we process stories. If I was telling a story right now, I'll probably be having more people watching because people have stories, and this is why people watch the news. because when you watch news, you're just watching stories being told. So it could be the story of a robbery which has taken place, the story of what the Prime Minister has been up to. It could be the story of what a school has been up to and stuff. So everything is just stories. When we watch the news, we're just being told stories, okay, which is why we like the news, okay? So the traditional revenue model is what these guys are looking at. They're looking at the traditional model, and then they are looking to so what is the traditional revenue model? It's the fact that the users generate the content, but the value is shared among shareholders. Okay, so the users like you and me on Facebook are generating all the content. All the content on Facebook is generated by the users, but all the value of Facebook is shared among shareholders. Okay, and it's not their fault. They've got a business model. They've managed to convince us that we need to connect with our friends on Facebook. We are on Facebook. We've not been forced to join Facebook. So I'm not blaming Facebook for their business model, but I'm just saying there is a new model which is based on the blockchain, which is coming up. And there are already models which I'm also using now, which are already operational. Okay, but we've got this one which is coming up, and it affects everyone. This blockchain affects everything. So if you are a teacher, it's going to affect you. If you are a journalist, it's going to affect you. If you're a musician, it's going to affect you. Whatever you do in life, the blockchain is affecting, is a game changer, it's affecting everything. And so we need to learn about it for that reason, because there are going to be applications. It's like the internet. Okay, the internet affected everything. The internet disrupted everything. Okay, but this is like the new internet. So blockchain is like the new internet, and it's also affecting everything, but it's affecting everything in a different way, because what it's doing is that it's unlocking capital, it's unlocking debt capital, it's unlocking. So for example, if I was doing this this live streaming on one of the other apps that I use, which are which reward me for the time, okay, it means that I no longer feel like I'm providing value, right? Like now I know that I'm providing value, but the platform does not reward me for the value that I'm providing to the platform, okay? Because I'm providing value to Facebook. Facebook is investors because of you and me, but Facebook is not giving us that value. It's giving all the value to the investors, okay? So let's see. So database of users is the value. So the database of users is the value that Facebook has. It has a database. It knows all about us. All the information that we put on Facebook is something that they use to get value. So they become valuable to advertisers because advertisers want to sell us something. And they can only sell us something, or their advertising becomes very specific if they know exactly what we like, what we post and all that. So Facebook provides all this information, okay, so that they can, on Facebook, you can be very, very specific. You can target exactly a certain demographic in a certain specific area. You could say you want to advertise to single mothers who live in East London and who eat or who buy chocolate, okay? So it could be that specific. You could exactly get, your adverts could go to the Facebook pages of those specific people that you've targeted. Okay, let me just see this comment. My eyes are not very good anymore. When is it going to be launched? What are the minimum entry qualifications. Okay, so they don't always tell you exactly when they're going to launch, but what these people do, the people who are running ICOs, by ICO they mean initial coin offering. So instead of an IPO, an initial public offering, in the traditional sense, these ones are called initial coin offerings, or ICOs. Okay, so normally what they do is when they launch the ICO, they are trying to, which is what they are doing now. They've just launched, they've started selling some shares. So as soon as they finish that, they might do another round of trying to get revenue. Then after that, they use that money to build the app or to launch or to whatever. So once they start like the stage where they are now, within 6 months they'll be running. And I've already seen prototypes of what they are doing. And usually there are no entry requirements, except that sometimes they just need to verify. I think they just need to verify an ID or something, just to make sure that you're the person that you say you are. I've seen that with the Steemit blockchain. It took me about 3 or 4 days to be accepted, so they'll actually have to accept you. I don't know how these guys are going to do it, because the blockchain space is still very new, which means everything that's being done has not been done before. So whoever is ahead, okay, is just acting as a case study for anyone else who wants to come up with something different. So they're always learning. So if there have been mistakes made, the new guys are going to try and correct those mistakes. So carrying on, users pay with with time and attention. So this is how we are paying to use Facebook. Okay, we think that Facebook is free. We think that Twitter is free. We think that YouTube is free. We think that all these social networks are free, especially WhatsApp. We think WhatsApp is free, but we're actually paying to use WhatsApp. We're paying to use Facebook, YouTube, and how we're paying? We're paying with our time, okay? So we used to pay for our television, okay, by the time that we spend watching TV. But now our attention is shifted from televisions. We still watch TV from televisions, but I think we've reduced the amount of time that we spend on television. So we used to spend our time watching television, reading newspapers, listening to the radio, playing cassettes, reading books, okay? But now I probably just listen to audiobooks instead of buying a book on Amazon to read. I'd rather just buy the audio version of the book and listen to it while my hands are tied. So if I'm driving, for example, instead of using instead of listening to music, for example, I just listen to an audiobook or I listen to a podcast. Podcast is just like radio. So what it means is that instead of having the radio dictate what I listen to, even if I've got choices between 3 or 4, 10 or 20 radio stations or 50 radio stations, I still probably just listen to 2 or 3 different ones. Okay, I think there's just so much choice on TV and there's so much choice on radio in terms of the channels or the radio stations you can watch, you can listen to, but you naturally just narrow that choice to 2 or 3. And it's usually one or the other. It's usually 1 or 2 stations that you watch. So now, instead of paying, instead of giving our attention and our time to these traditional channels which I've mentioned, okay, we've shifted our attention to something else, to social media. And Facebook is one of them. And so we're paying to use Facebook by giving Facebook our attention and by giving Facebook our time. But also we're giving free content, so we're paying by giving them free content. So we're actually paying Facebook with our content. We're giving them content for free. They're getting this content for free, and they are using this content to sell their business model to advertisers, to investors. So investors are able to see value. So investors look at how many people are using Facebook on a monthly basis, on a daily basis, on a yearly basis, and they use that to determine how much they are willing to pay for shares, for shares at which Facebook could be going for. Okay, so what else did I underline here? I just underlined a few ideas. So this is what's happened in the last few years. In the last few years, social media has come up with a new way of rewarding those people who are bringing more value. Because when you look at Facebook, for example, there are people on Facebook who bring more value to Facebook than others. There are people on Instagram who bring more value to Instagram than other people. Because if you have a lot of people following you on Facebook, or if you have a lot of people following you on Instagram, what that means is that you have more influence than those people who have less followers. So because you have more influence, Instagram is able to pay you for being an influencer. Okay, so they call that a social media influencer. So you could become a social media influencer and get paid. So that's one of the models they're using. But what APPICS is doing, and what APPICS and other decentralized social media platforms on the blockchain, what they are doing is they are treating everyone equally. So I have influence even though I have less followers, but my influence is calculated according to how many followers I have, to how much attention I'm able to generate on Facebook, on social media. So I could be getting 1 cent per day, whereas someone is getting £100 a day. Okay, but we're on the same platform. But because they are more influential than I am, then they are rewarded more. So they've got this staggered way of rewarding people. And here's what I think I should mention this just to make people understand this. When you're on Facebook, you can post a video, you can post a picture, you can like a post, you can comment on a post, you can like a comment, you can repost or share a post. Okay, if you repost, if you reshare it on your own wall, or to a group or to a page and stuff like that. On Facebook, you're not rewarded for that, and you are spending time. Okay, you probably spend a lot of more time than you actually think you do. So on average, adults are said to be spending at least 2 hours on social media. Some of them, that 2 hours is just 90% of that 2 hours probably on WhatsApp and on Facebook. So we are spending a lot of time, but we are not getting remunerated. We're not getting paid for it. Okay, so other platforms, other social media today, what they are doing is there's a platform called Patreon now, and this platform, what it does is, if you join the Patreon platform, you can have your own group of investors or sponsors who will promise to pay you a certain amount every time you post new content. So that's one of the models that people have had to come up with, so that they are at least rewarded for the content that they're creating and for the time which they're spending on social media. Whereas the APPICS platform is going to reward you for just picking up your phone, taking a selfie, and posting it, and you get rewarded for that. You get rewarded for all the comments that are just going to be coming in. So let me just read this. I ticked that. The dream of all social media users, if only likes could directly turn into currency. So on APPICS, likes turn into currency. So your likes, your thumbs up, everything, that becomes currency. So you earn income for posting and sharing your created content, and users who like it benefit income from supporting the content and the user as well. Okay, so this is what APPICS can do. And then I'll just read this. I wrote brilliant on here. I think it's quite significant. Let me just read it. With APPICS, the road to online success has never been easier. Brands and verified users have the opportunity to create an integrated shop inside their social media profile by only enabling the shop function. So you can actually open a shop inside of the APPICS platform. It's just like Facebook has started now with Facebook Marketplace, where you can buy stuff, and you can also sell your own stuff on there. But APPICS is going to just come with that functionality already enabled. Interest rates offered by traditional banks are on average 0.123%. So, the traditional banking model is so dysfunctional that these platforms like APPICS are trying to come up with a way so that people can benefit from using the social networks in a way in which they are not doing now. Okay, so ZAP technology, social media monetary system. So that's what APPICS is all about. Radio took 31 years to be accepted. TV took 18 years. The internet took 7 years for people to really accept that it exists. Even up to now, some people probably don't know about the internet. Okay, but we've reached a stage now where the internet is being accepted, just like paper money took about 400 years to be accepted. So the blockchain is a new technology which is going to take some time as well to be accepted. I've spoken to some friends, and they say they would not join a social network where they are getting paid, and their reason was that they are just there to socialize, they are not there to get money and blah blah blah. But when you look at how much time we're spending on social media, then you will begin to think that perhaps there should be a way in which people are getting paid, because we are the ones who are making money for these investors. Okay, so APPICS introduces the average social media user to the benefits of blockchain by turning contribution in a social network into a cryptocurrency. So your contribution would be turned into a cryptocurrency. And the cryptocurrency in this case is called ZAP or XAP. That's what's going to happen. Whereas Facebook, imagine if Facebook had Facebook coin. It means that if Facebook had Facebook coin, then it would be giving you tokens every time you are spending time and your influence is and people are liking your posts, people are commenting and stuff like that. There are people who post 3-4 times and they get 300-400 comments on each post. Now, if that was on a social platform like this one, you would go crazy with the amount of tokens that you'll be receiving. And I think once people begin to realize that probably because people are spending a lot of time on social media. So I think that's going to be the entry point for most people into cryptocurrency and the blockchain. They'll probably begin to appreciate the blockchain more because a lot of people have always thought that probably the blockchain is the blockchain is the important thing, but the Bitcoin is not for some people. But I'll tell you that blockchain has always been there, okay? But the problem is that blockchain has always been centralized. And what Bitcoin has managed to do is it has managed to decentralize the blockchain. And so, which is why we say that Bitcoin is actually the technology behind the decentralized blockchain. Okay. So, mission statement, content and contribution is the new currency. Right, so content and contribution is the new currency, and APPICS is the environment appreciating this. So APPICS appreciate the fact that content and contribution is the new currency. So your contribution on Facebook is currency because it's making Facebook billions. So it has to be a currency. But it's a currency in the form in which we don't appreciate. It's currency in the form of the written word. It's currency in the form of a like. It's currency in the form of a comment. It's currency in the form of a shared post. It's currency, but we don't realize that it's currency until Facebook presents those statistics to say, look how many people are posting, look at all these long articles, look at all these videos that they are posting. And so that's where the value of Facebook comes from. But APPICS is remunerating people, which is why I think Facebook is in trouble unless they go ahead with their plans for the blockchain, which Mark Zuckerberg talked about. But has not really laid out exactly how he's going to do it. So time is the human's most valuable asset, okay? It's our most valuable asset, which is why I always appreciate it when people are spending time on this platform, because your time is very valuable to you. And if you're giving it to me to listen to what I have to talk about, then I have to appreciate that. Okay, so time is the human's most valuable asset. Before you have anything, before you have any money, before you have anything to your name, you have time. So we all have time. And it's how we're using that time which is important. It's important how we're using that time. And so we spend time just to do this live stream. I'm spending time just to write a Facebook post. I'm gonna spend time just to comment on WhatsApp. I'm gonna spend time. Now APPICS appreciates that, which is why they are which is why they're using the blockchain to reward people for spending their time. So users who create content are passionate creatives who want to share their work and freely express themselves through writing, visual or video. Content creation requires the most time and energy, which the earnings are meant to reflect accordingly. The people who participate in the network judge the payouts by liking content. Okay, so you and me are creatives. We create content and we get paid for it through a platform like APPICS. And that's what APPICS is going to do. Okay, it's going to reward us for the time that we're spending on it. Okay, so I've been going through the APPICS platform, and here's what the app. So inside the app, we're going to have fashion, makeup, gaming, sports, fitness, art, music, dance, comedy, lifestyle, travel, food, news, tech, and charity. Now imagine a charity organization based on the blockchain. What that means is that there is going to be less money being taken away by the people who are running the charity, because there have been cases, or there have been reports that for every $1 which is donated, probably just 20 cents will reach the recipients. Okay, so that's a big problem. But with the blockchain, probably 97 cents will get to the intended recipients. So we're looking, so there is hope in using the blockchain for donations and for charities. Okay, so the technology is the Steam blockchain, which I'm already using. I'm already using the Steam blockchain on steemit.com, so I know exactly how it works. And I don't think there is anything else here from the from the white paper. You know, white papers are quite detailed and all that, so I don't want to make this too detailed either. Otherwise, it's not much I could bore. To first of all, what is this blockchain all about and stuff like that. Okay, so I hope it helps for people to realize that the time that you're spending on social media has not been in vain, because it has provided probably the training that you need for the next generation of applications which are running on the blockchain. And the blockchain being not the technology behind Bitcoin, but actually Bitcoin is the technology behind the blockchain, because it enables decentralization, and a decentralized blockchain is a very powerful thing. And so Bitcoin is not just about money. Bitcoin is also about different applications in education, in healthcare, even in governance, in voting, anything where records have to be kept, anything where a database has to be created, just like money is a database. So money is a database, and we are using, we actually, when you say you've got a bank account, okay, when you say you've got money in the bank, what you actually have in that bank account, what you actually have is just a spreadsheet. Okay, it's just a record of the transaction taking place. If everybody was to withdraw all their monies today from the banks, there'll be a run on banks, which means there is not enough money in the banks. There's not enough physical cash in the banks to satisfy the needs. Okay, if everyone was to withdraw all their money, there will not be enough of that money. Okay, so which is why I say it's just a database. It's just a record of what's come in and what's going out, but the actual money is not even in the bank. Okay, which is why salaries are staggered, and people, because they have trust in banks, they will not go and withdraw all their monies at once. They will have trust in banks until they realize that banks are not a very good deal, and we can talk about that in another video. For now, I'm gonna say thank you to Dazi Chuapu, thank you to Bernard Kureva. My eyes are not very good. I think I need to go to the optician. So I'm gonna leave it here for now, guys, and I'll see you in another video. Goodbye.